Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now.
So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly?
Some now argue there's a clear pattern behind how Diddy has consistently sidestepped accountability, drawing parallels to the strategic move seen during his infamous 1999 club case. According to this view, each step appears deliberate, redirecting attention, controlling the narrative, and staying ahead of consequences, transforming moments of serious risk into tightly managed situations rather than allowing them to spiral out of control.
And as we going towards the boathouse, I look in the distance and it's this man in all black. He's in all black. And he turns and it looked like he had the white collar. I couldn't be sure. I couldn't be positive, but it looked like he had the white collar because Puff said, "Yo, Gene, stay right here." And I stayed right there and he kept on walking. So when Puff get directly to the dude, he gets down on his knees. When he gets down on his knees, this man takes something and it seemed like it had smoke in it and he started doing it around Puff. And then he went back and forth. And then he went up and down with it, sideways with it, then back around him. And then he put it down. And then he put his hand on Puff's head. And I guess he started, saying something. I don't even really know what he said, but I couldn't tell what he said. You understand what I'm saying? Long story short, I see Puff reach into this case. And when he reached into this case, he came out and you could see something white in his hand. I didn't know it was a bird. I didn't know what it was at first. But he threw it up in the air. And when he threw it in the air, the came straight back down like it was a brick and said, "Pow," on the concrete. And I was like, oh, that was a dove.
The latest buzz centers on the belief that people once close to Diddy are now uneasy, watching carefully as he continues to maneuver without visible damage and weighing what his return could mean after they pulled away. In moments like this, speculation naturally turns to familiar power players, with Jay-Z's name resurfacing as observers quietly wonder who might feel the ripple effects next amid unresolved tension and unspoken reckonings.
Gets to get out, be with his family. They didn't really railroad him like they did R. Kelly.
Isn't that interesting how I've been saying that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Since 2022, I've been talking about acceptable monsters. Hand-selected, hand-picked. Tell me something. How does R. Kelly's music get snatched off the radio and Diddy's?
So why has his name resurfaced now? Jaguar Wright suggests there's more beneath the surface, pointing to what she describes as a pivotal moment involving Diddy and Jay-Z, one she believes could ripple across the hip-hop world. Stripped of spectacle, her perspective frames a quieter but powerful tension at play, a struggle between loyalty and transparency, between preserving a carefully built legacy and facing uncomfortable truths head-on.
To stay silent about his connection to Diddy. And baby, she wasn't lying, because Jaguar Wright was just on Piers Morgan exposing the out of Jay-Z. Jaguar Wright was calling out Jay-Z for his silence, saying that now he's gonna have no choice but to talk because he has connections with Diddy, R. Kelly, Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein. She also said that she has victims that have video footage of these freak-offs and what they do to people, and she said that she saw what Jay-Z and Beyonce were allegedly doing to people. Jaguar Wright even said that Jay-Z is the one that allegedly set up R. Kelly because he knew everything that he was doing and he was doing the same shit. And she said that Jay-Z is the one that funded surviving R. Kelly because his best friend for years is Dream Hampton. And baby, she wasn't lying. Jay-Z and Dream Hampton have been friends for years.
Even from behind bars, the pressure surrounding Diddy appears to be tightening, and speculation suggests that if he plans to survive the fallout, he may try to redirect attention toward others, Jay-Z's name often surfacing in those rumors. Jaguar Wright hints at a deeper, more intense chapter tied to what she describes as calculated maneuvers still hidden from public view, suggesting that when this next phase finally comes to light, it could send shockwaves through the industry that eclipse everything revealed so far.
But it's another thing when you look at it for what, in my opinion, I believe it actually is.
And what is it?
Demonic, ritualistic behaviors, humiliation rituals, offerings to the devil.
We were just talking about that. Revelation 17, the mystery of Babylon. I don't think people really want to get into that when they talk about mystery Babylon and the abominations and the rituals, the SEX rituals, the traffic to the, traffic jamming.
I mean, we all know the saying that they have out here, right? They say that the music industry, the film industry, Hollywood and all that is the devil's playground. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. What about you? Leave it in the comments section. Let's talk about it, but let's also continue.
The selling of your body, all that stuff, mystery of Babylon, y'all.
Like, I want y'all to really think about what they were talking about. See, everybody was, the spreading of bodily fluids from one person to another, using one person as a receptacle, and then taking it from that person's body and then putting it and smearing it all over like.
To grasp how things reached this breaking point, you have to look back to an era when Jay-Z and Diddy stood at the top of hip-hop as unmatched power players, shaping not just music but culture itself. Through Rock Nation and Bad Boy, they built empires that defined influence, style, and success for a generation, projecting unity and dominance through legendary gatherings and public alliances. Yet, as Jaguar Wright suggests, their connection went beyond friendship, bound instead by unspoken understandings and guarded truths that, if ever fully revealed, could threaten the very foundations of everything they created.
CIA agent like Jeffrey Epstein, I watched that in a video or something, and it's possible that he came in the game young, because I heard that a story of Gene Deal saying that Diddy had to go meet with the feds. He don't know what it was about, and it was in his earlier part of his career. I wonder if he could have been working with him for all these years. Who knows? Let's talk about it in the comments, but we're going to continue.
SEX magic. Sure enough. Yeah, Jay-Z, yeah, he wears the Aleister Crowley t-shirts.
Well, I got dragged.
He had a line of his own clothing. Like, I want you to really think about this.
I got dragged for bringing that to people's attention. They were like, oh yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist because he said. I'm like, no, that's what he wore. And he was with Abramovich. Like, yeah, y'all gotta, who you hang with is who you are.
I'm still trying to understand how people want to sit there and talk about me, and he's sitting there frontal lobe to frontal lobe with a known witch. And people don't question.
And the funny thing is
do as thou wilt. Yeah.
The funny thing is when you talk about witches, and I'm still not going to go in on this this raccoon of a content creator who decided to shout you out one minute and then try to drag you for going on a platform and saying, you said about witchcraft takes one to know one, and he just automatic, you a witch. So the thing is that's another smear campaign, your credibility, and then they go after your
You want
What
to
is
know
it?
what's
I don't
funny?
want to say I don't want to say religiosity. What is it?
What is what?
No, I'm saying they go after your.
Wright goes further, suggesting that Diddy's strongest move may be complete transparency, using the truth itself as leverage to protect his position while pulling back the curtain on the hidden systems that have long insulated powerful figures from accountability.
About Jay-Z and Diddy, and nobody believed her. I remember her very first interview years ago saying how Diddy was a trafficker, and everybody thought she was crazy and everybody ridiculed everything she had to say. Well, now does she seem crazy? What I love about Jaguar Wright is watching her time and time again get vindicated on things that she says. Like, it was so crazy back then that nobody wanted to believe it, but now that we are seeing things come to light, how crazy is it actually? I've always been the type that can't stand when people are called crazy because the things that they are saying are hard for a person to believe. This doesn't make a person crazy, and these people wouldn't be saying these things for no reason. We watch it happen time and time again with these situations, just like Cat Williams, just like Michael Jackson, just like Aaron Carter, and even Kanye. I really feel like in 2024, everybody has woken up and seen that all of these people saying this throughout the years, they're not crazy. They're not saying all of this for no reason, and it's something that I've known for years. Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now. She's even talked about Jay-Z's alleged relationships with younger people in the past, such as Aaliyah, such as Foxy Brown, such as Rihanna, and even Beyonce.
Wright argues that the story of Cathy White deserves renewed attention, pointing to what she describes as rumored connections to Jay-Z that were never publicly addressed. She claims Cathy was preparing to speak openly about her situation before her sudden death, a timing Wright views as significant. Framed as speculation rather than fact, Wright presents this account as part of a broader call to examine long-buried industry secrets and the silence that has surrounded them for years.
She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect.
Wright's narrative grows more ominous as she claims both Diddy and Jay-Z are aware of what truly happened to Cathy, suggesting Diddy could reveal damaging details if he ever chose to cooperate, though she questions whether he would. She points to subtle signs of tension that surfaced years ago, like missed appearances at each other's major events, arguing those quiet moves hinted at a deeper divide beneath the public unity. In an industry where nothing goes unnoticed, Wright says those moments spoke volumes, a view later echoed by Diddy's former security chief Roger Bonds, who suggested there was far more unfolding behind the scenes than outsiders ever realized.
And they're not close at all or whatever else. Did you see the two of them interact a lot?
I seen them interact, but I wouldn't say they was close. I believe Puff felt they was close.
Oh.
But if you was a person on the outside looking in, like me and Uncle Paulie used to always talk about it, me and D-Rock was talking about, yo, why Puff kind of like sucking Jay off so much? You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be like, we done flew to 5 or 6, 7 different concerts that Jay-Z has. But Jay-Z is not at one of Puff's shows. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Rock brunch where Puff will break his neck to get to the brunch. But Jay-Z don't pop up at any of Puff parties. You know, now I can only speak up until 2012. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was breaking his neck. Like at the end of the day, in our mind, we say, yo, he ain't even invite Puff to his wedding. When he married Beyonce, Steve Stout and all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was kind of in his feelings, but once again.
Oh, Puff was upset he didn't get invited to the wedding?
Of course he was.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But You got to remember, we're security, so we're bottom on a tote pole. So he's not going to show you that it really affects him until you have a little conversation with him, or you say something, or you overhear something. But he didn't get invited to that, you know. Yeah, Jay came through every once in a while. Like if we was in a yacht in San Tropez or one of these places like that, Jay might ride up, you know what I'm saying? And it's more or less to show, yeah, I got a yacht too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm out here too. More or less than we're tight friends. I look at it as two people that's getting money because they did have some businesses together and we did have to go to some meetings together. And it was like, this is how far it goes, but we're not friends. You know what I'm saying? Like people ask me that all the time. I mean, Jay ain't really with Puff. It was no personal into it. It would be like if Ron Burgos is flying from LA on his jet, but Jay-Z just so happens to be going to New York too. We all end up on the jet flying back, those type of things, but nothing to go out his way. If we in a club, you might be downtown at bed or something like that. Jay-Z might be there, so they end up at the same table, you know what I'm saying? And it was times where I listen to the records now where Jay-Z said, yo, why should I drink Ciroc when why should I drink Grey Goose when Puff got Ciroc? This is something new that just started happening because I remember we almost got into a big altercation with Pecos and them because...
With Sean Pecos?
Yeah, because Puff was there and Jay and them was there and they had a bunch of Grey Goose bottles come to the table. And Puff felt like, yo, that was disrespectful, and he knocked over the Grey Goose bottle.
Jaguar Wright has consistently kept the spotlight on Jay-Z and Diddy, reviving her claims again and again and refusing to let the conversation disappear. She draws provocative comparisons, suggesting that powerful figures linked to major scandals often share the same hidden playbook, control from the shadows, while others absorb the damage. In her view, Jay-Z moved with calculated precision, preserving an untouchable public image as chaos unfolded around him, quietly exerting influence just far enough away to avoid the fallout while still shaping the outcome.
For enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened.
According to Jaguar Wright, this is exactly why she believes Diddy could eventually turn on Jay-Z if the pressure becomes overwhelming. In her view, survival changes priorities, and letting long-buried secrets surface could become a strategic move rather than a moral one. While some see her claims as extreme, Wright insists she has sounded these alarms for years, alleging that both figures maintain their influence through calculated pressure, tightly managed narratives, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering, shaping outcomes in ways she believes the public has only begun to question.
That he may start revealing things about other people.
He has no choice. His ego and his addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife.
Whether Jaguar Wright's claims hold water or not, they've reignited one of hip-hop's most intense debates.
Whether Jaguar Wright's claims prove accurate or not, they've reignited a fierce hip-hop debate about how much truth remains buried beneath fame, wealth, and silence. She's not alone in questioning the Diddy, Jay-Z dynamic, as commentators like Orsino point to how quickly alliances shifted when Diddy's standing collapsed, most notably Jay-Z's swift retreat. Once seen as equals who rose together to dominate the industry, the contrast became striking when pressure hit, with Jay-Z appearing to distance himself without hesitation, protecting his own legacy as if he sensed the storm long before it broke.
So funny because my videos are being heavily suppressed. You know, I gotta read you guys this. It's funny. It's like they really want to corral everywhere I go and who I talk to and what I say. Oh, hold on. Where is it? Oh, I don't have it in here. I sent myself the wrong one. No, that was a long. Oh, but then there is this. Oh, did you see this? Have you seen this? Yeah. Jaguar Wright, almost unalived by Diddy's hitman. Noah Jacob, TV. I shouted him out once before. I guess they paid you real good. You fake Christian piece of crap. Bearing false witness. You call yourself a Christian? Bearing false witness, you stupid little kid. Because if you think I'm not going to come after your platform, and if you think I'm not going to make sure that everybody goes to your platform and report you for the lies you told, with your AI evidence video that you put up.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what the video said? That number one, it said Diddy's hitman, but I thought Diddy and Jay-Z was.
Despite years of photos showing them side by side at major events, Jay-Z eventually reframed his connection to Diddy as purely professional, stripping away any sense of closeness. Observers like Orsino note a shift to a colder, more calculated tone, less about loyalty, more about distance and self-preservation. As the pressure mounted around Diddy, staying publicly aligned became a liability, and Jay-Z appeared to step back to protect his own name. Now, new speculation suggests his broader associations are also being quietly examined, with some claiming he's carefully maneuvering to stay insulated while the fallout continues to unfold around Diddy.
Still Puff Daddy. He's not going to be able to do none of the stuff he was doing before, though, as far as business-wise.
Look, Puff Daddy and Jay-Z were considered peers at one point. Now, Jay-Z and Diddy are not talked about in the same
Jay-Z
sense.
got the fuck away from that shit fast. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z was like, yeah, I don't know him. I know him, but not like that.
Yo, the niggas got like 80 pictures together, all type of parties.
I know, of course they know each other.
Hov said, listen, I don't know. Hov said, you know, Hov ain't going for Hov. Like, I don't know, boy. We did it. We was together a couple times. I don't know, boy.
Within industry circles, Perez's past is widely discussed, including her publicly documented cooperation with federal authorities in a major case years ago. Commentators like Orsino say this history has raised questions about how someone with that background rose to a leadership role at Roc Nation under a figure long associated with street-rooted credibility, fueling speculation about unseen oversight and influence. Gondal adds that, in his view, the situation surrounding Diddy points to something much broader than any single person, hinting instead at a larger, opaque network operating far beyond what's visible to the public.
Well,
as far as Kanye West concerned,
here's the thing, right? Kanye, and I know some of the people around him, it's like Kanye can no longer do a lot of things he could do before.
Like what?
He can't tour in Europe. He can't tour in America. He has to go to like China, South Korea, like Brazil. There's only a few places in the world that'll book him. He can't even go into Australia. Like Australia said that the Hail Hitler song got him banned to even enter the country, even though his wife is Australian. He wasn't even trying to perform. They wouldn't even let him in the country. Listen, you start doing songs like Hail Hitler, you become a symbol of hatred to the world.
That's like one of the worst people you could ever try.
You know, I interviewed the dude that wrote that song, Dave Blunts. You know, the big...
Okay, what's that? Write this song?
Nah, well, he performed it though. I mean, it's still his song. But yeah, no, Dave Blunts wrote it. He also wrote the cousin song, the one about giving his cousin head. And I asked him, I'm like...
So what's this guy? Who's this guy that wrote the songs? Is it
Dave Blunts? He's like the 600-pound rapper.
Tapes, and I want you to give more clarity. So you believe they only got Puffy because they wanted these tapes. But what do you think is on these tapes?
Bro, you got to realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party. You got some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives. They used them for that. They used them enough, whereas that now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, Frantic? The clothing line, the sports line? They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now I ain't talking about the freak off party part of it, but I'm just saying he was doing those parties and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite. So it was those parties that everybody want to be at. So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything.
If these claims were ever confirmed and more major figures were impacted, some believe it could dramatically shift power at the top of the industry. Speculation remains that Jay-Z could face scrutiny one day, though many note he appears well protected and has historically distanced himself when necessary. Should Diddy ever decide to speak out, it could redirect attention in unexpected ways, leaving observers to question whether this is coincidence or a calculated shift in power.